Okay, so let's get started. So in this very short example, I'm going to show you how you can create new rules from the input or from the output of an Enumlist selection. So for instance, in this scenario, we are creating a form, one app where people can register for programs that they would like to attend in a particular organization. So over here we have our normal columns expected. We have ID, we have the name of the participant, we have the department the participant belongs to, their position, whether they would like to attend the program or not, and that's true over here. Then the program they are attending, at the moment this is blank, and then we have select, which has the various Enumlist selection. So we have program 1, program 2, program 3, and program 4. Now I love Enumlist because they make it very convenient for whoever is using the app to do multiple selection. The problem with it is that when the selections are done, it becomes a bit difficult to work with them, right? So how can we create rules from this selection so that instead of having all the selections or all the results in one cell, this output can be broken down into various rules, okay, and the rest of the rule components are actually duplicated. So how do we get this done? So I've created an app that does this, and I'd like to show you how you can do this as well. Okay, so let's try an example. So when it comes to Enumlist, click on plus. I'm going to create a new example here. So I'm going to call this let's say participants called Grace. Okay, well, Grace's department, she's in HR. What's her position? She's the HR manager. Okay, and is she attending? Yes, I'm attending. Which programs are you attending, Grace? So I'm attending 2, 3. That's it. Okay, and save. Okay, so this is going to save too, and then you see that Grace HR, Grace HR. Okay, you come here. You see that? So Grace, you have this and that. Okay, so that's the objective, that's the goal, to be able to break down our selection into different rules. Okay, so let's see how we can do this together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first make a copy of this, and then from there we start building our app. So come to file, okay, make a copy. It's in the same place. I'm going to say tips and tricks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say demo. So it's demo. Okay, I'll make a copy of this. Okay, great. So I don't need this guy anymore. I have this. Good. And I'm going to take these guys as well. And then now I can come to extensions, AppSheet, and create an app. Okay, great. So we're in business. So you come to data. Okay, this is our table Enumlist. Okay, we're going to come to columns. And like I always say, the very first thing you need to do is to set your data types right. Okay, so we know that we have ID, which is the key. Okay, automatically AppSheet is going to provide the unique ID function in the ID column as a key. Okay, we don't want this column to show, so I'm going to take off the show. The name, participant is a name, which is good. Department, I want that to be a list. I want it to be a list where you can select only one. So I'm going to use Enumlist. So I'm going to provide various departments. So here we have accounting department. We have finance. Okay. We also have HR and let's say marketing. Okay. And others. I'm sure we have this. Do that. Okay. Position is going to be a text. Attending, this is going to be a true or false, whether you're attending or not. So we're going to use a yes or no. And then we don't want just yes or no as default values. If you want just yes or no as default values, so let me show you this. So yes and no, and then y as default values, which for me isn't cool enough. So you can actually set your default value. So you can put no, I'm not. Okay, don't forget your double quotation because it's a text. Like this, no, I'm not. And then here, yes, I'm attending. So in the app, you're going to see no, I'm not, and yes, I'm attending as the values place of this. But then in your spreadsheet, the values are going to just be true and false. Now I have two other columns over here. One is program, where the person is supposed to select the program, and the other one is select. Now program is actually going to keep the list of programs the person is going to attend, but then the person is going to do the selection in the select column. You're going to understand very soon. So I'm going to come here to Enumlist as select, and I'm going to provide the various programs. So program 1. So if you have a program, just put the program name over here. Add a new one. Let me just copy this. Paste this here 2. Add this. Paste this here 3. And then for good measure 4. Great. Done. Now program is going to be a text. It's going to contain whatever has been selected in this select column. Okay. And then what I want to do is I don't want to confuse the user experience is very important. So this column is not going to show whenever you're in a form, and this column is only going to show in 2 instances: when you selected yes over here, and then when you are in a form. If you're not in a form, this should not show. If you're in a form, this guy should also not show, but this guy should show. Let me take this again. So what is going to happen is these guys cannot show at the same time. Program and select cannot show at the same time. Program is going to show when you are not in a form, okay? And then select is only going to show when you are in a form. That's one condition. And when attending is yes. So if the person is in a form and selects no as attending, select is also not going to show, program is not going to show. I hope that's clear. Good. So let's do that. So in program, in the show bit, we're going to say, okay, show this context. So context helps us to know set when a particular column should be shown. So context view type is equal to, actually it's not equal to form. So when the view type is not equal to form, you don't show this particular column. Context is a very powerful function that helps with the user experience. So I'm going to just save this. Now select has some interesting conditions. So the first one is context view type is equal to form. The first one, we have another condition. So and we're going to say attend or attending. Sometimes I'm not too sure. So under data types, you can check what columns you have in each table. So attending. So attending is equal to true. Like I said, in the spreadsheet, the actual value is going to be true or false, not attending or not attending. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to save. So you're going to have something like this: participant name. So let's say test, department, finance, position. I can leave that blank if I want to say no, I'm not attending. Nothing shows, just records that. Yes, I'm attending. You have the select over here, and you can actually select the programs you're attending. So program 1, program 3, program 4, and right. This makes it very easy for the user. One thing I want to change is the narrative we have for the select, right? So when I come to this side, I'm going to say that I'm going to give a description. I'm going to say please select. So let me put it in the quotation. Please select programs you'd like to attend. Okay, attend, right? And save. So over here I have this, don't worry. When I click on save, the equal to sign is going to leave. So let's see how that looks now. So name of participant, test, department, finance, position is CFO. No, I'm not attending, nothing pops up. Yes, I'm attending. Please select the programs you'd like to attend. Nicely done. So 1, 3, and 4, right? Then I can click on save, okay, and that saves. Right, we have this. That's it. Okay. Now this is the first bit of laying down the columns and how they are supposed to behave. Now what we want to do is we want this output to be broken down into rows. So program 1, program 3, and program 4. Okay, this is just going to be a helper, right? So we come back to our column. So what we're going to use to do this are behaviors. Behaviors are very useful for these kind of things. So we're going to create a behavior. What's a behavior? Okay. We're going to say create new row 2. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new row to another table using the values from this row. Now which table am I adding this to? Exact same table, Enumlist. Okay. Now I need to provide what the various values for each column is going to be in that row. So this is going to remain unique ID, like it has been in the main row. We have name of participant is going to be the same thing as what was selected or what was provided. So we're just going to select this over here, name of participant. Then I'm going to do the same for the other ones as well. So department, whatever the person provided, and the data explorer, you can just insert this, right? Save, add position. What's a position? I'm going to insert position as well. Okay, so basically repeating everything the person has already selected. So attending, what person attending, insert this, save, and then we're going to have program. Now this is where it gets interesting. So for program, we're going to select just one of the programs in the Enumlist. Okay, so for this one we're creating the second row. Okay, so this is going to be the second selection in the Enumlist. So I'm going to use the function index. Okay, so I'm saying index, go to this list, which is the select column, and select the second one, right? Okay, so let's evaluate. Good, and I'm going to save this. So that's it. Okay, so for the select, we're going to leave it empty. I'm going to provide anything about it. Appearance, we don't want this to show, so do not display. Then behavior. Okay, now this is very important. Okay, we need to ensure that this action only runs when there are two or more selections in the Enumlist. Okay, if there's just one selection, it shouldn't run. Okay, if there's no selection, it shouldn't run as well. Okay, so just to ensure that we don't have actions run when they don't need to run, we're going to put this condition over here to ensure that it only runs when there is actually a need for it to run. Okay, so we're going to say count. I want you to count the number of entries in the select column. So select, right, and then it should always be greater than or equal to 2. Right? If it's not greater than or equal to 2, then you don't need this to run. Okay, which is very important. So prevent your app from doing a lot of unnecessary things. Okay, once this is done, right, I can just copy this. This will become number 3. I'm going to change this to 3 here. So this is where it gets easy once you set the foundation, and then I'm going to set the behavior here to 3 or more. So greater than or equal to 3. Okay. Let me copy number 3 so it gives me number 4. So copy this number 4, fantastic. Come here. So you just pretty much have to do this for the number of items you have in your Enumlist. Once you set the first one, right, the rest are basically just copy and you just make the changes to this. Okay, so number 4, and that's it. So I have just 4 entries. Add more if you have more, do that. Now I know you're wondering what happens to number 1. Don't worry, we'll address that. I just want to show you something. So I'm going to create my last action. Okay, so this is going to be the grouper. Okay, I need so Enumlist rows. This action is basically going to group all these individual actions we have into one main action. So that main action runs all of them as a go. So I'm going to say execute a sequence of actions, and I'm going to provide the various actions I want to execute once this action starts to run. Okay, this guy too does not have to display, and this guy should only run when, what do you think the condition is going to be? Great, when attending is equal to true, right? So I'm going to save this, then let's click on save. So once I have this in place, what I'm going to do is in my form, okay, so when it comes to the form view, I have a behavior section. So you can actually attach an action to a form when it's being saved. So when form is being saved, what action do you want it to run? So I wanted to run my Enumlist, and this is why we had to create this Enumlist, this group action, which groups all these actions because a form can run only one action at a time, right? So if you have a group, you can group all the actions you want to run for that particular form. So we have this over here. I'm going to save this again, right? So with that done, let's test this. So let's use this example. Okay, department is going to be finance. Position. Let's look at this. Operation. Yes, I'm attending. What programs are you attending? So I'm attending 1, 3, and 4, and okay. So let's see. I'm going to save this. So when we come here, right? So we have the first one, second one, third one, right? Fantastic. Okay. So you realize that we have these three going through, but then first one is empty. Then we have this over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add one more action that is going to take the first input and place it here and delete the select, because we don't need the select, it's just a helper. So I'm going to come here, okay, go back to my behaviors and create a new action. So create a new action. Okay, I'm going to call this complete. Let's say complete row. Okay, so now I'm going to set, for this one, I'm not adding a new row, I'm actually editing an existing one that has just been entered. So set the values of some columns in this row. Okay, so all I want to do is I want to make program equal to the index. So select first one, right? That's what I want to do. Write the first one as that. And then I also want to change select. I want to delete it basically. So I'm going to say make select equal to nothing. Right? So basically click whatever is there. Then I'm going to close this up, come to my Enumlist, and then I'm going to add this as my last action. It's very important that this is the last action because you realize that I'm clearing the select value. And then once I clear the select value, these ones cannot run. So these ones have to run before I clear the select value. Okay. So with this in place, oh, I forgot to take this off. So let me come back here. I'm going to say appearance, do not display. I also need to put a behavior over here to say that okay, this should only run when attending is equal to true. That was, I don't want the action to run, right? So save. So let's try this again one more time. So participant, okay, what's her department? She's again. Okay, yes, attending. Let's say she's attending all programs. Okay. Let's see this. Okay, so let's see how it's going to look like. So up here we have the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Good. And see, program 1 is placed now here, and this is deleted. Right? So that's how you're going to get it done. That's how you do it. You create an action that is going to deal with every possible selection. Then you create this for the first one, you group all of them, and then you attach it to your form. I hope you found this very useful. I hope you found this to be very helpful tip. Hoping that I'm going to see you in my subsequent video. So please like, share, and then I see you next time.